All right, hello, and welcome to Damon Patch Podcast, episode 576. I'm your host, Ryan Johnson. Matt Lawrence is here today. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing all right, yeah.
Doing all right?
Doing all right.
What's wrong, Tim?
Just the exact same words, the exact same tone every goddamn time.
Well, Tim Spence, what's new with you?
I'm on vacation time. I'm not actually here mentally.
You still need like that recover from vacation period?
Yeah, no, it's like you were saying before, I need a vacation from my vacation.
Isn't it the worst?
It's tiring. It's tiring to have to take it easy, you know?
What's really bad is I remember being like a kid and like going on vacation with my family. And even as a kid with like a lot more energy, it was like I always hated that you fly somewhere, you get a cab to the hotel, you get to the hotel, and immediately it's like, let's go out. And it's like, well, I'm freaking tired from all this goddamn traveling.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know how people do it.
I don't know why you gotta do something the first day. It's like, let me just hang out in the hotel, get some room service. Tomorrow we'll all go.
Room service?
You don't get room service?
Like a money bags over here. Jeez.
You don't get room service?
I think I've maybe gotten room service once in my life.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Once ever.
Yeah, I agree with him 100%.
Jeez, okay, sorry.
Ryan, the only time I got room service...
privilege, Ryan!
No, sorry.
I've only ever gotten room service with you, Ryan.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Special occasion.
At the Ritz, Matt?
Yeah, actually,
when we stayed at the Ritz, yeah.
Yeah, because it was the cheapest for some reason. Yeah.
Well, I think we missed out on rooms at the Fairmont and then got the Ritz as a backup.
That's right.
All right, Matt, do you have a video game fun fact for us?
I do indeed. I made a shorter one because last week was a little bit crazy, but this is one I wanted to just tackle. I knew it was going to be short, but something that I brought up, I think it was on the stream, and it's tonal shifts in games. And I don't mean tonal shifts in games at large. I mean within the same series, there's been tonal shifts that are pretty jarring.
That's
so there's two from my childhood that I remember, and we'll jump into the first one here. This first one is Jak and Daxter. So the original Jak and Daxter, known as Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, was released in 2001, and it was a bright, colorful platformer. It was built around exploration, platforming, and collectibles with almost no combat focus compared to later entries. You would kind of like jump on things or spin a bit kind of thing. Jak himself, main protagonist there, didn't even speak. He was a classic silent hero, letting the world and gameplay do the storytelling. The tone was playful, with Daxter, his companion, providing most of the comedy relief and lighthearted banter. And Daxter did indeed speak. But then, just 22 months later, came Jak 2. So in 2003, it was released. And the opening alone sets the tone. Jak is captured, experimented on, and thrown into a dystopian city called Haven City. Suddenly, the game is no longer about collecting shiny objects in lush environments. It's about survival, rebellion, and escaping a totalitarian regime. The gameplay also changed dramatically. Oh, so I'll give, like, back in the day, we used to talk about this. So I had one friend that had GTA Vice City. And because I don't know if I didn't have Jak and Daxter when it was new, or Jak 2 when it was new, so I don't know if like that timeline lines up. But in terms of our purchase order back in the day when we were kids, I played Jak and Daxter. Then at some point he bought Vice City and played that, and I kind of watched him play that a little bit. And even though I probably shouldn't have because I was a kid, but anyway. And then I think it was he bought Jak 2, and we were playing it, and we were like, Jak 2 is like a lesser violent GTA. Like, you steal vehicles and you use guns and all this. And it's like, this was like a happy-go-lucky, colorful series. And it's like, all right, GTA now. Very bizarre. So the gameplay changed dramatically. Jak gains access to firearms and ranged weapons. The world becomes a large, hostile, yet open city. Missions are structured more like action-adventure set pieces than platforming challenges. So for Jak and Daxter, it was very sort of, and I'm saying this from memory, but it was very sort of like chapter-based. So it's like, oh, you're kind of at like the beach level, and then, oh, you're kind of at like the lava level kind of thing. And you would travel organically between the two, but it wasn't so much like an open world, whereas Jak 2 was. And more importantly, Jak himself changes. He is now no longer voiceless. He now speaks, and his personality has become much more aggressive and very emotionally driven, probably because he was experimented on and all that nonsense. Naughty Dog later explained that this wasn't just a random tonal pivot. They wanted to evolve their audience who had grown up since the PS2 launch. They were also heavily influenced by the success of Grand Theft Auto 3, so not Vice City like we were comparing it to as kids, Grand Theft Auto 3, which showed that open world crime and darker storytelling could dominate the market. Even internally, some developers later reflected that the shift felt more like it was chasing industry trends rather than purely creative direction. The transformation was so extreme that it effectively created a new identity for the franchise, splitting fans between those who loved the darker tone and those who missed the original charm. This is the biggest tonal shift ever. Like, I thought, because back then I didn't have the internet, and I thought like something had happened where we like missed one of these titles. I thought, oh, we missed. I know this is Jak 2, but there must have been a spin-off, or there must have been something that happened to force Jak 2 to become like a GTA game instead of like a. I would compare Ratchet and Clank 1 to Jak and Daxter. That's kind of how it was. And there was many differences between the two, but I would put the two in the same camp. If you like Jak and Daxter, chances are you'll like Ratchet and Clank. But if you like Ratchet and Clank, you might not like Jak 2. And you might not like Jak 3, and then eventually Combat X Racing or whatever it was, Jak X Combat Racing. So crazy tonal shift. And this happened to me twice, like I said. So the second time it happened with a Ubisoft game, that is Prince of Persia. Ubisoft's Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, was released in 2003, and it was a surprise revival of a classic franchise. Now, I didn't know it was a revival. I just played the demo disc, was like, that game's fucking awesome, and bought it. It reimagined the series with fluid parkour-style movement, a strong focus on acrobatic platforming, a charming, almost fairy tale-like tone, and of course the iconic Dagger of Time, which let players rewind mistakes. The prince himself was witty, talkative, and often narrating his own journey like a story being told after the fact. The game felt elegant with these big palaces and sort of this very grand royal environments that you'd find yourself in. And it was almost like an interactive myth a little bit. But then came the second game after this one, Warrior Within, which is in 2004, and the tone flipped almost overnight. The change was immediately noticeable. The color palette shifted to dark grays, reds, and blacks. Soundtrack leaned heavily into industrial and heavy metal. The prince now became silent, brooding, and constantly angry. Combat was expanded into a much more brutal, combo-heavy system, and even the story itself took a darker turn. The prince is being hunted by a supernatural creature called the Dahaka, and the narrative focuses on fate, death, and inevitability, rather than adventure and discovery. Ubisoft's reasoning at the time was similar to many studios in that era, which is they believed that darker meant more mature, which meant it was more appealing to older players. They also wanted to differentiate the sequels strongly from Sands of Time, so it wouldn't feel like a repeat of that game yet again. However, the reaction was very mixed. Some players loved the deeper combat and intensity. Others felt it lost the charm, personality, and elegance of the original. Ubisoft later acknowledged that this tension and the Two Thrones, which is the third game that came out in 2005, was essentially a compromise between the two games, bringing back the witty narration and lighter tone of Sands of Time while keeping some of the improved combat systems from Warrior Within, and trying to unify both versions of the prince, into a single character arc. So I fall into that second camp back there where others felt that it had lost its charm for that second game. I definitely fall into that camp because I remember I loved Sands of Time, was pumped for the second game, but noticed that the cover was like sort of, the guy's got darker hair, it's kind of gritty, and it's sort of like, I don't know about this. And I did play it, and it was not my bag, unfortunately. And I never played that third one. I never played the Two Thrones, mostly because I was kind of turned off by this second one. Very, very strange. And also, I don't know if it was quite as abrupt as Jak and Daxter to Jak 2, but it felt very much the same. And this one is one we all know, and I just have a couple points about this, because what's interesting is back then we were going from lighthearted, colorful, grand, myth-like, all this, to like angry, dark, and like,
The
I'm
Attitude Era.
I'm so gritty or whatever. But God of War did the reverse. So one of the best tonal shifts actually went in the opposite direction. One of the best, I guess, modern ones, which is the original God of War games, were all about rage, revenge, gore, over the top spectacle, ripping freaking mouths off of gods and I don't know, biting feet or some fucking crazy thing.
Biting feet? Wait, did we play the same game?
Did he like rip Herbie's feet off or something crazy like that or something? Something. It was
you just bite him. What are we talking about?
I couldn't remember how he exactly did it. But but you get the meaning. Like Kratos was angry, and it's just like, yeah, let's kill, it's more blood, kind of thing. But God of War changed that tune in 2018, where with a reinvented Kratos as an older father trying to control his anger while raising his son. And the violence is still there, but instead of becoming edgier, the series became more emotional, thoughtful, and character-driven. And so I don't know if that's a sign of the times or just a sign that games can successfully make a tonal shift, because I know God of War also changed lore and things like this. But just a shorter but an interesting fun fact, something that I remember growing up.
Well, it reminds me a lot of like playing Ocarina of Time as my first Zelda game, and then Majora's Mask, and being like, these are the same like games? These are supposed to be the same series? This is a continuation of that story? Like, I wasn't up on the lore and stuff, and like I would eventually go back and play like the other earlier games, but it was very strange to me that like all of a sudden like Majora's Mask was, everything looked familiar like from Ocarina, but the tones of everything was so much darker, and everything was about like death and depression and denial and acceptance. Is like every part of that game was a different stage of grief, and things were just a lot creepier. And it's not like Ocarina didn't have creepy, like it had the bottom of the well and it had the Shadow Temple and stuff like that, but it was like everything was so much more insidious with Majora's Mask. And I was like, even as a kid, I was like, should I be playing this? Like, is this one of those things that I like should be trying to avoid? But it's just so enamoring.
It's the one with the angry looking moon, right?
The
I've
moon,
never played
yep.
Majora's Mask. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that being pretty creepy. I've seen that on a poster or something when I was a kid.
That's creepy.
Well, like, and when you put on the masks and stuff, like the transformation masks to become Goron Link or Deku Link or Zora Link, like there's like a cutscene that plays where it sounds like it plays sound effects like the mask is like latching itself onto Link's face.
Oh God! And
then he's like, and then he doubles over, and then he looks up, and it's like the most horrified like expression of the mask, like screaming, and he goes, "Wah!" And then he transforms into like whatever the other character was, and it's like, again, this game is rated E for everyone, right?
Yeah,
like
that's crazy.
This is so intense for like a kid's game, and yeah, it's coming off the back of like this, like the classic like unlikely hero saves the world storyline. Like, what the hell are we doing here, guys?
Yeah, because like you were saying, there's those couple of scary moments in Ocarina of Time, but it's like that contrast is like clearly a choice where they're like, hey, it's kind of like level. Here's a creepy part. Here's a creepy part, and it's kind of making that contrast like gap pretty large. But then they were just like with Majora's Mask, they're like, now let's just go down there. let's just make our baseline like back to that creepy like line.
Yeah, weird.
I often think a lot of franchises need tonal changes to kind of revitalize them. I've been saying it for a while that Gears needs it. It's just like Gears feels so stuck in that 360 era that it's just, and I'd say Halo too. They just feel like they're from that era and haven't evolved, even though they've had new games. They're always trying to recapture that magic, and it's like you can't recapture the magic. It's gone. It happened and it's over, and now you have to do something different. And then look what happened with God of War. That became a huge game, which was more or less a more mediocre game beforehand, I'd say. Sold well. Obviously, it had like 3 or 4 versions before, had PSP versions and stuff. But I think it became a higher tier of game once it kind of changed its tone a bit.
I don't want to say that the original God of War wasn't art, but it felt like the new God of War was art, and the other one was just like an action game.
Yeah, and both are acceptable. Both are completely fine to enjoy, either one.
I
But
literally enjoy both.
I think
Like,
it kept God of War relevant and alive. Whereas I think they made another game in the old style, I don't think it would have kept on being successful.
And you know what's funny is that like they have this tonal shift. It changes people's expectations for the series.
Hmm.
And then that sort of goes on with only two games. Like that
Yeah.
God of War reboot and then Ragnarok. And now they're like, oh, we're gonna remake the old games, and people are hungry for them
Yeah.
again. Whereas like they probably wouldn't have been hungry for a God of War 1 remake if the games had continued releasing on like a similar release schedule and been the same vibe the whole time.
Yeah. And I do actually think you could do another game similar in the style of the old games, but maybe make it a new character or something. I think it'd be hard to do a new God of War with that old style, other than a remake, which is obviously people understand is an old game.
Well,
I was
for like
actually
narrative
gonna-
reasons, obviously they couldn't use Kratos again, but yeah.
I was gonna actually ask if it was if the like the tone of the new God of War is more reminiscent of like our time, or if like there's any games that come to mind that are like the old God of War right now. I can't really think of one off the top of my head.
Wait, say that again?
Like, is there any game tonally like? Because so, but my point is like you're saying like Kratos had that sort of like angry phase, let's say, for 3 mainline games, right?
Yeah.
And then went to this like different phase to like refresh the series.
Yeah.
I'm curious whether that refresh was to go along with the times, or was it more like we've done the angry thing, we need to move on. I'm wondering if an angry game would work today. Not necessarily Kratos, not necessarily God of War, but is there any like angry game today? Maybe Space Marine, but even that, like you kind of come back and it's super respectful and very militaristic, and it's not like I'm gonna rip everyone's heads off and eat them, And
I don't think it was a problem with it being like an angry game. I think it was just they had done that for 3 games plus any little spin-off. And I just feel like even as like the player base got older, because like obviously those games were rated M, but I'm sure a lot of teenagers were playing them, and like young 20-year-olds were probably playing them, and it very much appeals to that kind of younger audience. But to keep it alive amongst current gamers, I think it needs that tonal shift. But I don't think that stops you from having a different game have like an angry protagonist like that.
Do you have any example of that today though? Like, is there any successful series or even just solo game right now? Let's say from like 2015 to now, in the modern era, that's like that angry Kratos, or is that just passe
really, but
in general?
That was pretty unique for that time too, though.
Yeah, I think that the grittiness was starting to come in though, for sure, back then.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the WWE like attitude era. Like it was kind of like that, where it's like they're trying to be edgy. Everyone's trying to be edgy, right? TV's trying to be edgy. They're trying to game devs are trying to be edgy. Like that's just what it was.
You know, it's interesting though. I always find that the first in a series. This might be more true for movies than games, but it could also be for games. But the first in a series has a different tone than all the ones that follow it. The first one that comes to mind is Terminator.
Always.
That first one is more horror genre than action sci-fi adventure.
Oh yeah, that's totally a horror movie.
And then the second one became that, and then made all the other ones after that goofy action films. But that first one is like so completely different.
Well, in that case though, that goes with the lore because, I guess spoilers for like very old movies at this point, but the first Terminator is like, I'd say definitely horror / thriller. Like I'd say it's going to be less jump scare and more like a thriller, like suspense.
It's like a Jaws like horror. It's like, it's that kind of thing. This menacing thing coming at you.
But you couldn't really have that in the second one, having kept Sarah Connor. Like there, even us, if we were being chased by a robot, scary. But if I, had time to train up and be like, these sons of bitches are going to come back, I'm not going to be, the scared like, office dude, I guess, that I am now. I'm going to be like ready to be like, I'm going to kill this fucking Terminator. Like, let's go. Right.
No, but your point being, of course, like you have context, right?
Yeah.
And so like, yeah. And that's always going to be the thing is like your first one in a series of anything, book, movie, TV show, whatever, game, the first one is the first one, and so people don't know the world, they don't know the characters, they don't know the universe, so you have to sell them on that. And then when you have context, now the sequels can be anything, right? And most often, planners of stories or show writers or whatever will always be okay. Like, now that this has been established, what direction do we go in? Because we can't sell it on just the merit of this is a new thing. Now it has to be a new thing, but in this direction.
Yeah.
Dragon Age had a tonal shift. The second game is a huge shift. And then even the third game's a shift. And then the fourth game's a shift. They're all over the place. They don't know what tone they wanted.
They were shifting all over the floor.
Yeah. And that was in the negative direction, I'd say, obviously.
Oh, the quality also went down. Tonal shift and the quality went down.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else might have shifted. Mass Effect to a less extent. I think the first and second are pretty similar, but there is definitely more of a not cyberpunk in that sense, but more of just like a classic kind of 80s sci-fi vibe to the first game. And the second one kind of loses that vibe, at least for me. But I don't think that was intentional. I think that's just kind of what happened.
Yeah. I think I'd say very minimally, and this is from like childhood memories, but I would say Ratchet and Clank had a bit of one, because the first game was like platformers with guns and there was some melee. And then they learned, people like these crazy guns and things that we have. So let's like kind of take that to 11, add a leveling system, add some really interesting guns in the second game. And so then Going Commando is like tonally, like the gameplay is different, but it's as the games go on, from Going Commando to Up Your Arsenal, especially to Deadlocked, it starts becoming like darker and grittier, but it's still Ratchet. So he's not like, fuck you, Clank, we're going in there and ripping their arms off. Like, it's not, it's not that. But I would say personally, I remember it getting kind of darker and being like, I don't know about this. And then like Going Commando, I think, is the perfect balance of it. And then it's getting darker and it's kind of like, But then when Future comes out, because there's 2 or 3 Future games, Ratchet and Clank Future, on the PlayStation 3, the tone comes back and they're like, okay, we can have the crazy guns. We can have them be parts of like the Rangers or whatever, known for saving the galaxy and stuff. But Ratchet and them don't have to be like gritty type of thing.
I was wondering because like we just had a Ratchet and Clank game launch on this generation.
That was a fucking awesome game too.
Sony seems so hesitant to either remake or remaster any of their old games. Like, it's like, could they do a Jak and Daxter remake or remaster?
I think it is released on new hardware. I think you can. Oh, actually, no. Yeah. In fact, you absolutely can purchase them all. You cannot purchase Ratchet and Clank though. Could
they do a new one? Because that's Naughty Dog, right?
I think you probably could. I don't know if the tone would have to change. It's a good question. I don't know. That's because I've not played Jak 3, but going from Jak and Daxter to Jak 2 is like a major tonal shift. And I kind of wonder whether they would have to go back a little bit toward the Jak and Daxter or something. I think, to be totally honest, I think they would have to reboot it and choose a tone and go with it.
I also don't think that they'd want Naughty Dog making a mascot game again. You know what I mean?
I think that's a silly decision, though. I think that's a really silly decision because
I just think that's how it works. It's just like they're now our like premier studio making high quality, drama basically games. I don't think they want them making a mascot game again. It'd be so weird.
I think we need a dark and gritty Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, is Insomniac is owned by PlayStation now, and like they're making Marvel superhero stuff. They still
those are more in line though with Ratchet and Clank.
But it isn't it interesting that like when you say that Insomniac, I don't know if it's like the Naughty Dog deserved to escape the mascot and they escaped it. Like I guess my point is that the mascot isn't like a prison sentence. Like I'm like, yeah, like when you're a PlayStation developer, in my opinion, you should be making those what I would estimate is an easier or smaller title that does have a Jak and Daxter. It's good for revenue because your space game is going to take 14,000 years, but also like it I don't know, it teaches you more like for example, like Rift Apart, it taught them how to use like that storage and things because you were like ripping through the different dimensions and whatnot. and it's a good show of the tech.
I think it's just that Insomniac has always been on that path of we make the fun games, you know, with all the gadgets
I guess
and
that's true.
we have this furry rat character and they never even the Spider-Man games are like, you know, just fun comic book games. Whereas Naughty Dog became after Uncharted like 2 mostly, and then The Last of Us, they were like, oh, these guys are good at making character driven stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can't give them it will like lower the shine on them, I think, is what they might think.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I kind of hate that. I've always hated that.
I know,
It's my same thing with like Fast and the Furious, where I'm like, Fast and the Furious makes millions and millions of dollars, but it can't win an Oscar. It can't win Best Picture. It's like, well, if it's a bad movie, then why the fuck is everyone going to see it? Like, I just don't like that. I don't like being like, you have to discount that one. It's like, no, you don't. Like, if people like it, people like it. We're the ones that make the rating scale. Like, that's crazy.
Well, this is why there are people who like don't believe in awards to begin with, because like how do you judge one person's art compared to someone else's person like art? Like that's it's impossible, right? So
well, the other thing too is that like people are like, oh, it's you know, they sell well, but it's not going to win an Oscar. It's like they're not making those movies to win a fucking Oscar.
Yeah,
like, they're junk. They're junk food movies, and that's fine.
Yeah,
it's totally valid that they're just what they are. Like they're unapologetically ridiculous, but they're the point.
They're trying to make like a category for them. I think last time they pitched around like a box office like award or something like that. Like they're trying to find some way to get these more fan favorite films in the Oscars, because most people I don't think
probably
any of my
they just
friends
want people watching the Oscars more.
Yes, which they should. They should try to do that. But I don't know if any of my friends. You guys probably haven't watched like any of the Oscar nominated films, right? Maybe the winners, but maybe not.
I'm just not a movie person, really, though.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, thank you, Matt.
Well, thank you, Ryan.
Let's move on to our first story this week. We're going to cautiously move this forward, says Sony, as it hears the PlayStation disc backlash, but it will continue its plans. This is from VGC. During a Q&A session following its Q1 2026 earnings announcement, Sony CFO Lin Tao has addressed the situation, stating that Sony had been given the decision to go digital only some thought for a while before announcing it, and that it doesn't plan to change its mind. Quote, we announced that from January 2028 onwards, we will no longer be manufacturing game discs. So we announced it 1.5 years ahead. These are various reasons. There are various reasons when we made this decision. The biggest being that digitalization of contents overall has been progressing. That's the big factor. It's not just for PlayStation, but for all kinds of content. Digitalization is progressing. And so when we think about the future, we put a lot of thought and time, and we cautiously considered this, and we came to this conclusion, and we're going to cautiously move this forward, end quote. She also acknowledged the backlash to the decision on social media for the first time, stating that while Sony was aware of players' reaction to the news, its focus was on how to keep them interested in PlayStation games when it goes all digital. Quote, to this decision, we have received various opinions and people have strong views, and we understand that the community has put forward those views to us. Games are loved by many people. It's a form of entertainment that's loved by people and is connected to people's fond memories in many cases, and we understand those emotions. We want to consider that, and in the future digital ecosystem, how do we engage the gamers is something that we would like to continue to explore, end quote.
What does that last part mean? That's just some bullshit.
Yeah.
What is he going to do? Show me a disc like on the screen? Is that how you're going to engage? You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean?
Well, I think they probably means more merch. Probably means collector's editions. Like, if people like collecting these things, I know the big issue is probably ownership, but let's say the number 2 thing might be the collector aspect. You know, have some way for people to store things on the shelf to show what games they love. I don't know. I
mean, the Starfield little cred stick is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. It's hefty. It felt good.
It's substantial, yeah. It's and for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's like their currency in the game, and then it has the stick, or it has the CD key on the side of this cred stick. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it'd be the equivalent for New Vegas fans of having the game key on your platinum chip.
What if what if they kept releasing like steel books for games but no game in them? Would that be crazy?
See, I don't personally think that that's that crazy. Like, I think I said it before where GTA 6 not being on physical wasn't that offensive to me. I didn't really care because I always just kind of took it as it's up to Rockstar. Like it's up to Rockstar. They go like they do what they want. And if you really don't want to pay for something digitally, then unfortunately, then you don't. No, you just don't. You don't buy GTA 6. But it's. I didn't know that the manufacturing of discs, the decision came from one source. That's the issue. And then that's what took me off guard for this whole thing. And then it got me thinking, like, this is kind of crazy that like Sony can just be like, no one's making discs now. It's over.
Where does that where is that? I don't know where my little stick is. My little credit stick.
I stole it from your home.
Oh my god.
Oh wait. It is in the steelbook, right?
Yeah.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah. It's pretty sick. It's actually really cool.
It feels great. I don't know if this would be a thing, an option for games going forward, though. That seems kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, we also have the smartwatch, which I never booted up.
No, I'm not touching that thing. Does anyone actually use that for like day-to-day
God, I hope so.
smartwatch things?
There's definitely somebody out there. Has to be.
It's dusty. Everything's dusty over here. It's the problem with having physical.
Yeah, because we need more marks against physical. Like, the biggest concern, of course, is like people shifting away from the idea of like buying something and owning it forever.
Yeah.
Like, if everything just becomes a service and subscription that you just like purchase a license to instead of owning a thing, then like these companies have to walk that, like, if this is what they want to do, these companies are going to have to walk this razor's edge of like just giving people just enough to keep them customers, but then taking away as much physical stuff as possible and forcing people to like purchase subscriptions and stuff. Like, there's going to reach a point where I think even if they try to straddle this line for as long as they can, the exhaustion in the customer base is going to kick in and people are going to be like, all right, enough with this. I'm fucking sick of it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, people are trying to do certain things. There was like a Sony blackout or something like that, right? Where people weren't going to play like PlayStation games or something.
mm-hmm.
I have heard from some people saying that they're going to move to Xbox as well.
And like, yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's the beginning of what I mean, right? There's all these like sort of half measures and protests and stuff. And if people can stick with it, then like more power to them. But like, I don't know. To me, it's like, it's kind of like going on a diet. It's like you're doing this thing temporarily, because it's a fad, or you think it's going to help or whatever, and you're trying to break a habit, you're trying to do something, but inevitably, you know, you've done the diet for 3 weeks and then you're like, okay, I did it, and then you go back to your old habits and then nothing changes. It's like you have to have a fundamental shift in your like base behavior. So it's like if you truly want to like protest Sony and PlayStation for this decision, you have to be okay with not being a Sony customer anymore. It's the only way that they're going to like change their behavior, because you can always go back to them later if they do, you know, change up their practices. But
yeah,
like,
it's one thing to want something. It's another thing to actually act on those.
And it's hard.
And to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. Yeah. You can play in your games where you want or whatever.
People have hundreds, if not thousands of dollars invested in this stuff. Like, it's not easy, but like they don't care. They just don't care. It's a business at the end of the day, and the only point of the business is number go up. They can say that they're here to provide a service to people, but if the money stopped flowing, they wouldn't provide that service anymore. Like, it's not about the service. It's about the money. So you have to be like, you know, kind of pragmatic about it to an extent.
Well, and especially this puts a bad taste in my mouth, also because they're the king now, and so like Xbox isn't putting up a fight, and so they're just like, we can do. You know, they didn't say this, but they can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
and that's part of that business angle that you're talking about, Tim. We're the king of the business. We make the calls now, and The thing is like every gen, everyone says, "Oh, this one's going to be all digital. This one's going to be all digital," and I wasn't really offended by it. But for some reason, when it actually happened, like I didn't think I would care. If I got rid of Game Pass, I lose a significant portion of my Xbox library. I virtually have no Xbox Series games. I have very few. I have some, but I have very few Xbox One games. Most of my stuff is through subscription, but I've actively made that choice. But now, like seeing this, I'm starting to get, I don't know if I'm getting scared or worried or whatever, but it's just sort of, okay, like this whole like rent everything and be happy idea is happening in front of our face.
It is happening, and it's not necessarily like the end of the world, because I think that the sentiment is there enough still where people are like, enough's enough. I'm not going to put up with it forever.
Yeah.
But, they are still going to like keep some subscriptions. Like people are basically at this point now where they're just kind of bouncing back and forth between subscriptions.
100%.
Because it's what you have to do, right? Like you can't afford to do all of it. And like, I think the biggest concern for like myself and the circles that I tend to keep is people just kind of being like, they just don't want to see Sony doing this because they're afraid it sets the precedent, and then everyone is going to start to do it.
I think Xbox is going to do it. Personally.
Well, if things aren't already, set in stone for their next console, maybe they won't do it. Maybe they see this as an opportunity to have an advantage over Sony.
That's what, people keep saying. They're like, man, they could do the funniest fucking thing by just having the inverse of E3 2013 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then they're like, in 2027, here's how you share games on an Xbox. And then just
you gotta start playing dirty a bit. Yeah.
Shot for shot, recreate the thing that Sony did, where they have the guy just turn to the other guy with the case and go, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, you just need to recreate it. People would lose their shit over that.
You gotta, always play the underdog and I don't know, follow what the people are asking for, I guess.
The enemy is simultaneously the greatest threat we've ever known and completely incapable and an embarrassment.
Yeah.
What's concerning there though is like you were saying, is it already locked in, and it's like it is a PC,
which is have not had like disc-based games for a long time,
unless they're going to have like proprietary ways to claim games on the Xbox launcher, or however the software packaging is going to be on this new Xbox.
Well, don't they have that thing where you can put in no, that had to be in their account, right? They didn't actually announce the discs to digital thing yet.
No, it kind of seems like it's on the cusp of being announced, but it hasn't.
So maybe that's an option they could do. Maybe it will have a disk drive, but it's more like you put in a disc and it adds it to your account kind of deal.
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake here, honestly, or the biggest problem that we're also facing is that games on PC not being physical anymore doesn't really hurt that bad, at least not to me. I do like going to the store and stuff. I like going to these like new retro game stores that are like popping up everywhere and stuff like that. It's very nostalgic to walk through aisles of games and pick things out. But I will say one of my issues is like with the PC, or one of my issues with the console and not with the PC, is that the PC has multiple stores and a console does not. And so now it's like Sony's the one that said no more discs. And now Sony's also the one that's like, guess where you're getting your games, bud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Well,
it's like, well,
didn't they say you can still go into a physical game store and you can purchase like a game
codes? Yeah.
But it's going to be a code on a piece of paper.
On a piece of paper, yeah. And well, because many PlayStation 5 discs, not all, many do actually contain the full game. And what really sucks is like I guess my worry there is like, what happens if your PlayStation account gets banned, even if it's like a mistake? Hacker gets in, does something, whatever, then there goes. Even though I bought it physically, like if I want to support like my local retailer, that's a fair enough point, like that I can still do that. With the digital codes, but also like the digital code is redeeming it on the PlayStation Store, and the PlayStation Store is ultimately the governing body over what I just purchased. I don't know about you guys, but like I used to like buy stuff on sale and stuff, and like I cut it down just because I was buying like too much, and it was just like too much money to be like kind of shoveling out. But I would still buy stuff in anticipation. And like now I'm starting to treat things a little bit more like indefinite rentals. Like that thought goes through my head when I go to buy something digitally, where I'm like, this is an indefinite rental. Do I really care about this?
Mhm.
And I often, I haven't yet.
Yeah, because I'll even buy like stuff that's like if it's cheap on Steam, even though I own it somewhere else, I'll just buy it to have it on Steam. But yeah, if you think about it as like it's not ownership, then it's like I really shouldn't buy this. You know?
Yeah, like if it's something I'm going to use, and like I'm not throwing Steam away, I'm not throwing my PlayStation Store library away or anything like that. But I just have that. I like when when you naturally make a purchasing decision, usually you'll think about the price, how much you're going to use the thing. Maybe you'll look up reviews, do some research, depending on how expensive something is. And one of those checks now in my brain is this indefinite rental thought.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sony is not backing down. I wonder if like the campaigns against Sony will continue, but probably. But yeah, they've obviously seen and heard the feedback.
They knew it was going to happen. Like, people
Yes,
cannot
they for sure were
pretend
aware.
like Sony didn't know this was going to happen.
Yeah. And I wonder if they announced it so early because they wanted to give people time to kind of get over the initial,
Of course, yeah.
heated reactions. Then by the time the PS6 is coming out, people might
will
all
forget.
be happy Sony again. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Xbox now. Xbox wants to eventually reach more than 1 billion people each day. Asher Sharma tells the staff that the target is to get halfway there by 2030. This is from IGN here. Announcing the restructure, Sharma said that she wanted Xbox to be one of the few companies that entertains more than 1 billion people each day and gives everyone the opportunity to create and connect. It was a somewhat improbable target that drew a healthy dose of skepticism from some quarters, but Sharma doubled down, quote, "I know we can achieve this goal. Xbox has many of the most beloved franchises in the entertainment history, talented studios around the world, and we will return to growth in 2027, end quote. In this memo, Sharma went into more detail on this growth plan. In it, she said that her goal is for Xbox to be halfway towards that billion figure by 2030. So in 4 years' time, Xbox will have a 500 million people engaging with its gaming business each day. Quote, by FY 30, our ambition is to be halfway to our long-term daily player goal with sustained double-digit growth in players and engagement in the industry leading margins. End quote. I don't think this is entirely gaming, because they talked about how they have franchises and then also TV and movies, because they had the Minecraft movie, they got the Fallout TV show. What else they got going? Anything else? Is that it?
The Halo TV show on Paramount Plus.
The failed Halo TV show.
Oh, I'm trying to think of what else they have going.
Another movie?
Here's a War E-Day.
Anyway.
It's a game, though.
I know. I didn't have anything else.
To put this challenge into perspective, Sharma said Xbox currently has more than 100 million people every day. Xbox revenue declined 10% for the quarter ending June 30th. When comparing the entire 2026 fiscal year to the 2025 fiscal year, Xbox revenue decreased by 7%, or around $1.7 billion.
Oh, is that all?
Xbox ended the financial year with a 3% internal margin. Sony operates at around 10% margin. Nintendo, 16. How will Xbox achieve this accelerated growth? We will build long-term plans for our biggest franchises across film, television, consumer products, sponsorship, live experiences, and new partnerships globally, including China. Well, there you go. That's a big market.
There, I was going to say, if they want to
that open,
get into China.
Yeah.
That's a hard sell. If they could even do like Japan too, because Japan, Xbox's hardware share of that market is 8% or something. They have like nothing. They're like nothing in Japan. So
how would you break in?
I mean, I don't know if you can get into the Eastern market somehow. Maybe they figure China's a better bet. Yeah, maybe they figure China's a better bet. It's also got way more people, so obviously, like, there's that.
Yeah, But I'd imagine this number does not include only gamers, because to get a billion gamers, it sounds like a pretty
Yeah,
lofty goal, unless they're including like mobile gaming.
Well, they
You
have
know,
King.
probably.
yeah, yeah.
Well, they said live experiences too, right? Are they talking they're going to break into like concerts? Like they're going to do sponsor more like official Xbox like
Well, people do
video
like
game concerts?
the video game soundtrack like concerts
Of course,
with
yeah.
the orchestra and stuff.
I feel like Microsoft has never done that, right? You see that all the time with Final Fantasy. You see that with Nintendo stuff.
Go
You
hear
see
the
it with-
Halo soundtrack.
Oh, like how has that not happened yet? Surely that's a thing.
Well,
I would pay real money to go hear the Halo soundtrack in concert.
I was gonna say I went and saw Video Games Live about a year ago, and like Tommy Tallarico was there, and he was like he's the runner of it and all that, and he was talking. He's like, there was like a Q&A at the beginning. He was chatting with us, and he's like a certain like green character or something. He said like might show up. Like
I remember you
in-
telling the
in
story.
this- yeah, and then like. It was the most hyped thing ever. It's like the concert's over, quote unquote. Lights turn off, whatever. And then like Tommy Tallarico comes running in and he's like, "This next game is Halo," and everyone's like, "Fucking yeah!"
Yeah.
And then it's like, so, the music comes like fucking rushing in, and it's like that's one fucking song at a concert.
Yeah.
So like, the theme or the soundtrack, or even a smorgasbord of like video games live
A medley.
experiences with a bunch of Xbox licenses would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I guess live experiences could also just be like an in-person like expo, right?
Like
Yeah.
FanFest. They do a
Sure.
FanFest.
I remember when Sony used to do the PlayStation experience. I'm surprised they stopped doing that. That must have not been making money though. Those things cost millions of dollars and months of planning, and they probably didn't make money.
That was immediately after E3 too, right? I think it was.
Yeah, pretty close at least. Yeah, they
And it
pulled
was-
out of E3 and then they started doing the experience. Yeah.
Well, no, I think they did both for a bit, didn't they?
No, I don't think so.
I thought it was like simultaneous, because I thought for some reason I remembered they would have like their Sony,
maybe you're right.
like their Sony E3 presentation, and then they would have the PlayStation experience, and it's like people would say like, "Oh, they left this out of the E3 one because they wanted it at the PSX or whatever."
Let me take a look here. First one was in 2014.
Okay.
When did
It didn't last long, I don't think.
PlayStation leave E3? 2019. So yeah, PlayStation Experience started.
In 2014 to 2019, so 5 years.
Yeah,
And then, sorry, when was the E3?
2019.
They went up. So every year it was at no point was there an offset.
Yeah,
Hot damn.
that's crazy. But my whole memory of that time is all screwed up then.
Because I remember distinctly people were like hopeful for, I don't know, Bloodborne or something. I don't think that's what it was back then. But they'd be like, "Oh no, they want to share. They want to save this for their own stage at PSX." I remember those conversations.
Yeah. Jeez, what a time period. What a crazy time period. The mid 20 teens was wild.
Let me ask you guys a question. This is more of a vibe thing, but does Sony feel less, I don't know if I want to use the word communal, than before? I feel like before they had the gamer advisory panel, which I was on. They gave me a shirt and everything, which was hilarious and awesome. They had like, I don't know. It just felt like Sony was like, they were fighting, but they were also like, they were trying to like with PSX, it was like an exciting time just for Sony and stuff, and just for PlayStation and things. And it felt like, especially with all the characters, the sort of mascot characters that were coming out during the PS4, it just felt more like the PlayStation had more of those like first party games. And that Sean Layden has made, similar comments, just mentioning the fact that he was there for the era of like Uncharted and all those other mascots. And like now it's just sort of like PlayStation 5, it's powerful, go buy it. No discs.
Like it used to be the scrappy underdog, like sticking it to the man. Like Xbox is so corporate, and Sony's for the gamers, and we're salt of the earth people, and yada yada yada.
I think
now it's just become what it was parodying before.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, it's a marketing strategy. Like this is what marketing teams tell these companies to do. Because like once you beat your competition, you're now punching down, and obviously no one likes that. Right. But then you also want to appear above them, and you don't even want to mention them. You don't even talk about them in your marketing or your press releases or nothing. Like when you're below them, it's like you're making the Apple versus PC ads,
Yeah.
criticizing Microsoft nonstop. Then once you beat them, you don't even mention them. They don't even exist to you.
Right.
And so you kind of become the thing you hated when you were the scrappy underdog, just based on the marketers telling you this is how you should act.
What's really interesting is, and I'll anonymize some details, but I have a client that is a marketer, and he runs a company that was like a scrappy underdog for years and years and years. And it grew, and I helped him grow it, and it grew to the point where now he's above his competitors. And he hasn't changed a single thing. He hasn't changed the way he does it. Now, he watches his competitors and he makes smart business decisions. But his entire thing, every time he calls me, he's like, I just want this to be cool. I want no bullshit. And he's like, I'm trying to make this. I want this to look good. He's like, if I could hang up this website or hang up my business on a wall, like if I could somehow have a picture of it and hang it on a wall, he's like, it better look good. And I better be proud to show people like at my house party that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of think that's super cool, where it's like less of that corporate, like, well, now that we're on top, fuck everybody. Like, who cares? Like he's not punching at his competitors. He's not poking fun at anybody. He's just like, I want this to be like sick. Like, let's make this awesome.
He's just trying to have
winning.
It live off its own merit.
Yeah. And he's winning. Like he's top within his size of business. He's top of all the like SEO results and like everything. Like
it works. It works in certain markets, right?
Yeah, that's a very good point. There's going to be some markets where like stuff like that just wouldn't fly. Absolutely too competitive or something.
But it does feel like it's that simple. Just make products you're proud of. Steve Jobs used to say, like, someone asked him, how come you don't make a cheap Mac? And he's like, we could, but we want to make products that we would be proud to give to our friends and family. Things that we'd want them to actually enjoy and use and have fun with.
And then they started releasing those cheap model iPhones.
Well, they got the SEs, which are not actually cheap in comparison to other models. But
yeah.
Apple doesn't really have anything that's cheap. They got lower cost stuff. Although the MacBook Neo is pretty cheap, and it's been selling like hotcakes, which has been crazy.
You know what? With that though, I don't know if they still follow that like proud of mantra that you mentioned, but computing has become mundane, and what I mean by that is it's simple, like it's been solved, like we figured it out.
Yeah.
And so like now would be the time to say, here's a damn nice budget machine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Although they had to raise the price of it because of the RAM crisis.
Well, everything's going to get hit on the back end.
That freaking sucks, yeah. Anyway, all right, let's move on to our final story for the week. These were the best-selling games in Canada in June 2026. Have you guys already looked at this list?
No,
sir.
Are you guys looking at it now?
I am.
Oh, okay. Well, Tim, what would you think is the number one best-selling game in Canada for June 2026?
Fortnite V-Bucks.
Is that? I was gonna say, is Fortnite a purchase? I don't know how to. Is that something you purchase? I don't know.
V-Bucks.
But no, number one is strangely Forza Horizon 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Number two, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight.
I hear that's well deserved as well.
I heard that's very good. Yeah. 007 First Light.
Hey, people have good taste.
Number four, Tamagotchi Life, Living the Dream.
That is surprising given how long ago that came out.
Yeah. Kind of same with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I just saw a story today where they said that the sales of both Remake and Rebirth continue to kind of come in. Certain things might pique people's interest and then
it
boost
makes
sales.
Sense.
And
yeah, because people they want to play Final Fantasy VII, but now you have to fucking buy it piecemeal. So people are going to wait until more of it's out and then buy it all, right?
Yeah.
So
number 6, Resident Evil Requiem.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, Star Fox.
Kind of surprising, but at the same time not, because it is Nintendo.
Number 8, Minecraft.
What the?
That's not surprising.
Number 9, The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales.
What the fucking hell is
that? I have never even heard of that game.
I thought you were going to say the Adventures of Elliot Moose. And I was like, what the fuck are we?
And then Tim.
Me.
What is number 10 on the list?
World of Warcraft Burning Crusade Classic.
No, it's not that.
Oh, okay.
What would appear on the list?
Fortnite V-Bucks.
No.
I don't know.
Number 10, best-selling game in Canada for June 2026, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, of course.
Hell yeah.
Has it ever
It
not
never
been
ends.
in the top 10 of best-selling games?
I can't believe there's that many people that are like have not all of the people who have any interest in Grand Theft Auto bought Grand Theft Auto at this point? Like Christ, it feels like everybody on the planet has a copy.
You know what's crazy? Somebody born when GTA 5 came out could almost go into the store and buy it now.
Holy shit. Is that real?
That's real.
When did it come out? 2013?
Yeah, so it's been 13 years. So 5 more years, and they're 18.
Well,
and they can
that's
buy it.
not almost.
That's still a long
5.
time.
Hang on, hold up, though.
That's not.
A 13-year-old could easily get their hands probably on GTA 5 and play it. You got to remember, they were a baby.
Sure.
They were born when it came out. That's
Well,
fucking crazy.
I will say they could be playing it because my friends were playing GTA when they should not have been playing GTA.
Oh, absolutely.
We were like 11 years old and people
I
were
was
playing
going to say,
GTA.
I was 10 or 11. I was playing San Andreas.
Yeah, so yeah, kids today could be playing GTA 6 or
GTA
5,
6?
I guess. They're still buying 5. They're getting into 5 now.
Yeah, there haven't been there's not an
They want to
exhaustion
play the
of customers.
game. They want to play the game that came out when they were born, and so they're playing GTA 5.
Oh, that's weird.
Actually, a little side note: we were all born 1992, right?
Yes, sir.
What were the top selling games?
Oh, I feel like
in
I've looked this up
1992?
before.
We don't know. They didn't keep charts back then.
Oh, what? We looked at these charcoal rubbings of the stone tablets and discovered.
Okay, I'm not going to use AI for this. I'm actually going to just.
Isn't like Civ 2 or something like that? Isn't
Okay,
like the top
1992 highest grossing video games. It was the year's highest grossing video game worldwide. Was Capcom's arcade fighting game Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2.
Who's
The
sorry? What
World
was the
Warrior.
source?
This
Who's keeping
is
these numbers?
Video Game Sales Wiki.
Okay, makes sense.
Number 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yes. Also a huge one, yeah.
Number 3, Dragon Quest 5, Tenku no Hanamayamo.
Fuck me, we're already on number 5 for Dragon Quest.
Yeah, Dragon Quest started in the 80s, so.
Okay, well, hang on. Do we...
Sure.
And here's the top 10 in the United States. I don't think we have Canada data. So,
Canadians
Street
don't
Fighter
play
2,
video games.
obviously, Champion Edition. Number 2, World... Oh, no, I don't know what this is doing. World Heroes? Anyone know what World Heroes is? Art of Fighting, X-Men, Lethal Enforcers, Mortal Kombat. Is that the first Mortal Kombat?
92? Yeah, probably.
92. Oh, there you go. Space Lords. Coca-Cola Suzuka 8.
What?
Oh, 8 hours.
The Coca-Cola game? What are we talking about?
Coca-Cola Suzuka 8 hours. Oh, it's like a motorcycle racing game. Okay, these are not the games I expected. These are what was happening in 92.
Legends were born.
Okay, best-selling home video games. I think those were arcade games.
Holy
was
Christ! I was to say, I guess arcades was still kicking around.
Yeah,
eh?
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Street Fighter 2, Dragon Quest 5, Final Fantasy 5, Super Mario Kart. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. There you
Yeah.
go. There's that one.
That did come out in 92, didn't it? I thought it was 91.
Romancing
Actually, it might have
Saga.
been.
Romancing Saga?
But then Saga is spelled SAGA. Super Mario World.
Yeah, on the Super
There
Nintendo.
you go. Super Mario Land 2.
On the Game Boy.
And number 10, Mario Paint.
Hell yeah.
On the NES.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Those are our birth games.
It's always funny to think back to like consoles from a long time ago, and you know the like progression of like, you know, generation to generation, but you forget that like those generations would have had overlap too. So like there were games for the Super Nintendo and the NES selling at the same time.
Yeah.
Like the GameCube came out, but N64 games were still being sold.
All right. That's it for this week for the news.
That'd be kind of a cool recurring segment if we could find like reliable sales numbers or I don't know, marketing numbers or something for like a random year. That'd be kind of a cool little thing.
Well, I mean, that was from the video game sales wiki.
There you go.
They must have the numbers.
They have the ducats.
All right, moving on to what we're playing. Tim, what are you playing this week? Or what were you playing?
I mean, kind of not a lot, honestly. Like I said, I was actually trying to spend as little time on my computer as possible this week. I did a little bit of WoW here and there at the beginning of the week, but beyond that, not much really. We've started a new Baldur's Gate campaign with some friends, Kayla and I. It's like our campaign number 3 now, I think.
Hot damn.
But we're playing all like origin characters. Like none of us are playing a custom character because there are certain quest lines and like story beats you can follow if you're actually playing like Lae'zel or Gale or whoever. So we're doing that. And that is honestly pretty much it, I think. It's not been a lot by intention.
What are you playing, Matt?
What have I been playing?
Hell yeah.
I have been playing I still have not returned to Spider-Man 2. I've been ripping the PSP pretty hard actually. I was playing a bit of Pursuit Force. That game is difficult as fuck and kicks my ass. And man, what really sucks about games like that is I look it up sometimes and I'm like, is this game fucking hard? People are like, no. It's like, oh, all right.
Always the way.
But there was one game where I was kicking ass and then I got stuck on a wall and I was like, holy fuck, this is a fucking, like, what the hell's going on here? And I was like convinced people were going to say it was easy, but like, and I was like, making a mistake. And it's known for being notoriously difficult. Apparently it's like known for being like almost impossible to beat. And I was like, well, fucking some vindication finally. Thank you. But no, I just actually recently found my Battlefront for the PSP, my Battlefront Renegade Squadron, because I actually recently purchased Elite Squadron. They're 2 story Battlefront games. Well, you can do other things, Galactic Conquest and things, but I wanted to go through their campaigns, and so I was like, oh, I'll give this a try, and I threw it in to my PSP, the UMD in there, and the opening crawl like opened up, and it was like really slow, and I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on here, and then all the text started like distorting, and I was like, oh fuck, like what's going on? And then the PSP just hard shut off. Like if it crashes, it just hard shuts off. So I was like, okay. So I like booted it up again, and it started to freeze again. So it froze, but I didn't let it crash, and I pressed like a button. And then the game played fine. So I was like, that's weird. And so I like looked at it a couple of times and I was like, is it dusty or something? It's been on a shelf, but it's been covered up. And it didn't look dusty to me. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? And so I played a level or two. I think it was 1 level. And I was like, whatever, like I'll just play it tomorrow, whatever. And then I had a brighter light on a desk and I took it and I looked at the UMD. That thing is fucking covered in like micro dust. And so I have like a whole station behind me now getting ready to like clean up a whole fuckload of old UMDs. Cause like I have a little like little for loose UMDs, I have like a little like wallet thing. So I'm going to like clean them up and then put them in there. So I'm doing a little bit of restoration here. And I want to learn how to properly clean the cases as well. I got some cases with some schmutz that I bought that were used. So I might learn some of that, learn how to like safely take the art out. Like it's easy to do. Like I could just do it, but I'm sure there's like a collector's like friendly, hey, you should do it this way method. So I'm gonna play with that. But I know how to clean the UMDs because I used to do it as a kid. So I just need to find a microfiber cloth. I
thought there'd be someone selling like new old cases. You know what I mean? Like I was hoping someone got their hands on like 1,000 old PS2 cases or something.
Oh, PS2 cases, you could totally, I think.
I couldn't find any. I mean, I just looked on eBay. That was it. But
well, I think it's been so long. I used to watch Mystic quite a bit, and he's like a PlayStation collector, physical collector, and he would talk about how like you could replace the cases with. Do not quote me on this. I want to say it was like a certain year of DVD case, but it doesn't have
you
doesn't have the memory card slot though.
Yeah, you could totally find DVD cases for sure and use that. But it's like I wanted the PS2 black case kind of look.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree with that. I also I have one or two recased UMDs because you don't know, like the UMD, the little disc actually comes in its own little plastic case, like it's in a housing. Then there's a hole in the housing on the back where like the reader goes, and that's to hold the disc in place, but it's also protective to an extent as well. But those cases were famous for breaking because you could actually unclip them, but usually the clips would break and they wouldn't clip back on and stuff. And so recasing them is very, very common. And oftentimes the recasing is like this like translucent sort of cloudy white rather than like the PlayStation like white bezel with some branding on it and then like a clear top. And then there's like a sticker that says UMD on most of them right in the center. But so like I have a couple of those, but like for collector's purpose, like even just aesthetics, like I prefer just to have the official Sony one. I'll play the other ones, like it's fine, but I would prefer to like, clean, like, because some people just say, get rid of your old case on your UMDs, deep clean the disc, and then just like recase it. And I'm like, I'd rather just clean it so it works. But I'm going to clean the PSP as well. I looked at it and like, not in the reader area, but like right along the edge is like it's starting to creep in. And I'm like, okay, I want to like learn how to like properly maintain this stuff. I've dealt with electronics my whole life. So I could probably do it without a guide, but I always like to look at a guide because sometimes it's like, hey, don't do that. And it's like, oh shit, like I was going to do that.
Yeah.
Little niche thing. So I've been ripping, I don't know, it's been mostly ripping the PSP. And I got, this isn't gameplay. This is a PSP thing. I got my PSP camera working.
Yeah.
So I'm going on a trip and I'm gonna take some retro photos in London with the PSP camera. And crazy. it looks like shit, and I love it. I love every second of it. So I tested it on a few PSPs. I have a PSP with custom firmware. I have a PSP with OEM firmware, and I have a PSP with older OEM firmware. So I'm gonna test it on the older one, but the other two work just fine. And that's other than like doing like the regular rounds. Like, actually, no, I did have a really good play session of Dying Light, and we are like extremely close to the end. I was really close to the end before, and like now we've done even more. We did some side quests, leveled up and stuff, and we just finished like a pretty difficult mission, a pretty difficult side mission as well. And so we are like getting extremely close to the point where I thought the mission that I just did was the final mission from memory because it's been a long time, and it was not. So. Yeah, but that's been about it. A little bit of Overwatch, a little bit of Apex.
Did we talk about what we got at the retro game stores?
I don't think so. In fact, no, we didn't.
Did you want to share what you grabbed?
Oh fuck!
All those porno games you bought.
Yeah, I bought 40,000 porno. No,
40,000.
We went to this pretty cool spot in Hamilton called Eat Sleep Game, and they had a bunch of PSP. They had ones in the case. Then they had ones like behind the glass, like in the locked retail case. And I bought a whole bunch of UMD movies because I'm going to take some of them on vacation with me so I can watch them on the plane. And then I bought a whole bunch of them. And the guy was desperate, like as a joke, was trying to sell me Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I was like, dude, I have like 8 movies. Like I bought like 8 movies. Like I don't need Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. It was like a running joke. But he gave me some free UMD. He's like, you're buying so many UMDs. Like, here you go. And he gave me a couple, which was awesome. Great customer service there.
He was so amazed that someone was actually collecting PSP stuff.
Yeah, he told me, he said his boss, they had a bunch of UMD movies previous, like the previous year, and they were trying to sell them. They finally, through a lot of struggle, sold them. And then he told me, he's like, my boss decided recently, like literally the previous day, that he was going to buy more and put them on the show floor. And he was like, man, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know if I want to do that. And then I walked in and was like, all right, UMD movies, I'll take this one, that one, this one over here. And then he's like, I got more behind the counter. It's like, okay, show me. Okay, I'll take this one. And he's just like, yeah, you just like wiped out like 20 or like 30% of our stock in one day. The crown jewel of which is Mark Wahlberg's Planet of the Apes. Fucking sealed. Incredible.
That damn.
I bought a bunch of games though. I bought Gladiator. I can't remember if there's a subtitle for it, like Gladiator the Beginning or something.
The porno.
No.
Oh.
Space.
It's spelled Glad He Ate Her.
Yeah.
Fuck. I bought and this is, we went to multiple locations, so not everything was that Eat Sleep game. Although all the movies were, I believe. But I bought Battlefront Elite Squadron. I bought Battlefront 2 for the PSP as well. I bought like a rare Japanese game that I can't remember the name of now. They had that like complete in box. I bought the Fast and Furious game. That game fucking sucks, by the way, and I knew it sucked, but it's rare, and I wanted it. Rare to an extent. I bought a whole fuckload of stuff. I bought for Game Gear. I bought World Cup '94. Oh, and then we were at another store, and they had Up Your Arsenal sealed, but the Canadian version. So the Canadian version is a traditional PS2 game sealed, basically an American version. And then they take a French manual and they just literally hold it to the back and they put like a paper sleeve around it and they wrap that in another like saran wrap kind of thing. And you found it, Ryan. You were like, there's a sealed like Up Your Arsenal over there. I was like, sick. So I like grabbed it. I paid for that immediately because it's Ratchet and Clank. And then we were looking and the guy was like, oh, he's like taking a look at you had a pile. I think I only had Ratchet and Clank. He's like, based on what you guys like, he's like, I'll see if I have anything else. And he looks and he's like, he's like, not much Ratchet. He's like, I have a Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. And that's my favorite game. And I was like, is it sealed? And he's like, well, yeah. And I was like, hey, ring it up. And he's like, do you want to see it? Or like, do you want to know the price? I was like, just ring it up. Like, don't even fucking talk, just do it. But he brought it out and he like, we took a look at it and stuff. And so now I have a sealed Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, which is sick. And it came with a protective case, which is awesome.
He's like, $1,400.
Yeah.
So it was like $40. I think he was shocked that I like cared because he's just like, oh, I have Ratchet and it's sealed. And I was like, fuck yeah, hit me up. And then the creme de la creme of silliness is I have the collector's edition now of Two Worlds.
Oh, what the hell? What the fuck is that? No, take that back. That's not worth having. Come on.
It's right behind me.
It's pretty good.
No, I can't talk. I have the like, what's it called? The the like hardcover game guide book for Anthem.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's actually sick. I love that.
Was that it?
Well, okay, so that's all I purchased there. And then on eBay, I found a local business that's like literally like 40 minutes drive away, an hour 20 maybe away. And I like looked at it and they had like an amazing selection of UMD movies. So like a couple weeks ago, I was in Toronto with my girlfriend. And we walked into a retro game store just one of the days and they had Too Fast, Too Furious. And when I went to go buy it, the guy like looked in it and he's like, someone stole the UMD. Sorry, dude. And I was like, fuck. And so I looked it up and I bought Too Fast and Furious online because I found out it's actually quite a valuable UMD. And this guy had the Canadian version. Many of them were PAL on eBay. And this guy had the Canadian version for very, very reasonable, very, very reasonable. And so he sold me the Fast and the Furious and Too Fast and Furious together. And so I was like, sick. And then I went looking through his selection and I was like, holy fuck, like he's got a bunch of UMD movies for like extremely reasonable. I bought like Die Hard. I bought both Kill Bills. A whole bunch of other like I bought a bunch of shit, like just a bunch of stuff. And I messaged them and I was like, I was giving them offers because on eBay you can like make offers. I was making offers and they were just like accepting them. And then I went, hey man, I bought a bunch of stuff like from your store. I was like, I'm gonna make an offer on Die Hard because Die Hard was kind of expensive. I was like, I'm gonna make an offer on Die Hard. I cut the price in half, and I was like, can I also have like combined shipping? And the guy was like, yeah, of course, and just gave me like a absolute killer deal. Like saved like well over $50. Awesome. And it just came in yesterday evening, I think. So I'm equipped for my long flight.
I also went with Matt on the retro video game hunt. I got quite a haul too, and so here's some of the things I bought. I got Star Wars on the original Game Boy. It just looks awesome, and it was just like, I'll never play it, but it's just like cool to have.
Oh, yeah.
I bought the Mass Effect limited edition, limited collector's edition for the Xbox 360. It comes in like a steel case. I bought Final Fantasy VII Remake Deluxe Edition, complete in box. Tomb Raider Anniversary for PS2, which was sealed, and then this is a weird one. Need for Speed Most Wanted U for the Wii U.
It's sealed.
Sealed with a sticker on it that says "not for resale."
Nice. So it was part of a combo pack
promo or something.
Yeah.
I also got Final Fantasy X and X-2 on PS2, although they're in pretty rough shape. I probably shouldn't have bought them. I didn't really want them.
Oh. Okay.
Assassin's Creed Rogue sealed for PS3 because
Yeah.
I actually had never bought it because I had moved on to Unity or whatever the PS4 only game was at the time.
Yep.
I also, in the same Assassin's Creed vein, I got an Evie Fry statue, which the guy gave me half off because he said he didn't think he was going to be able to sell it. So that was awesome. And then the thing I really enjoy having is a PS1. Not a PlayStation.
Not the
but like
PlayStation.
a PS1 little tiny guy in great shape. He must have cleaned it up, I imagine. There's only like two things wrong with it. One is the eject button kind of sticks, but it's kind of, you can kind of just like wiggle it and it's fine. And then the bottom feet are like very yellowed and kind of like clearly from the 90s.
That's just what happens, yeah.
Yeah. But the controller is in awesome shape. The thumbsticks feel great. The cables are like perfectly clean. It looks almost brand new.
I was gonna say the cables were in like immaculate condition. Like,
yeah. But the only thing is like there's some like dust on like the plug, the part that plugs into like the wall. It's like there's some very like little tight areas where you have to get in there with like a pick or something. I don't have a PS1 game, so I haven't been able to test this. I do have an original PlayStation in box that I think came with a demo disc that I could probably pull out and use that to try. But I'm very happy to have it. It's a cool little console, and it didn't come with a memory card, but I ordered one off eBay. I think they had their own. Any PS1 memory card will work on it. But I think they had their own style because the original PlayStation was gray. This is more white
and more rounded.
More rounded, and so I think the memory card is actually, has a style that fits with this. So I'm hoping what I bought is correct. There was two different looking ones on eBay. So,
you know what you could do, Ryan? You probably have a CD, music CD.
Oh, sure,
it'll play music CDs.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah.
I actually know somebody that specifically bought it for one game and like just playing like music through the TV. Because like back then it wasn't like, just cast it or use YouTube or something.
Yeah.
I use my like entertainment system to like play music.
I don't believe the PS5 can play CDs.
Wow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that might be the case.
Sony,
and this is what we want to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is who we want running the show.
Yeah. In terms of what I played, I finally finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Holy moly.
It took me like 85 goddamn hours, and they were goddamn hours.
Oh.
Yeah. I was getting tired of that game.
They were goddamn hours.
They were goddamn hours.
That's a quote. That's a good one.
But no, it's a great game though. It was I had Aaron being my sensei and getting me through the game. Because I've said before, I'm not like a technical gamer. I'm not counting the numbers and looking at the equipment and being like, I need this thing for that battle and I need to equip this material. It's like I can't be bothered to do that for some reason. I don't know why. It's just, it hurts my soul to have to like look through that crap and say, I just want to smash my sword into that enemy. No,
you can do it. You're just doing it at like 10% less efficiency, and that's the crime.
Well, I'm getting my ass kicked. There was I did play on standard difficulty for the whole game minus one fight, which was really ridiculous. Maybe I could have beat it if I had more patience, but this game was too long by that point, and I was like, I'm turning this down to easy just to get this guy over with. Like it was nuts. Oddly enough, right after I finished it, I booted up Final Fantasy 16
right away. Aaron told me the same fucking night, the same night.
I don't think it was the same night. It was pretty close, though.
I'm pretty sure he said the same night, though. I don't know.
No,
I think you're lying to me, Ryan, because I think you confirmed what he said.
Honestly, it might have been. It might have been.
I have no idea if it was the. I have no idea if it was the same night. I'm just bugging you.
My mind's all Final Fantasy right now, and I don't know what's going on. I started playing the first game on my iPhone because it was on Apple Arcade, and I was like, all right, here we go. Other than that, we played Grounded. We've been playing Grounded again.
Oh yeah,
free on PlayStation.
That's right. Yeah, that's pretty fun. We've been doing good. We've been Although we set up a new base, and then the base has spiders spawning in it, so that's not good.
That's not good. Yeah.
That's really not good.
Yeah.
It was a great place too.
Tim, you remember under the oak tree, we like sealed it up so those wolf spiders couldn't come out. Well, we found out that they were spawning outside of it, and that's a great little base. So we like set up the base in there days and days and days, and a few different sessions went by, and now they're spawning in there.
Huh.
And it's like, Christ, we just had to build a fucking base in here.
And then finally, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I've been chomping away at that.
Resynced.
Resynced, yeah, that's good. A lot. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell if the bugs are old or new. I don't know. But the steering wheel of the ship came flying in at me, and in the cutscene. Yeah.
Oh, we played Campaign Evolved too, Ryan.
Oh, Halo. Get the Halo going.
I don't know about that one. I'll probably play it and beat it, but I don't know about that one.
I'm down to finish it.
My problem with it is the old remake felt like they just were like, yeah, we got to make it look a little better. This one feels like the Oblivion remake, and I know and I like the Oblivion remake, which sounds hypocritical. But my thing is like, and I'm talking about just the graphics in general, is the Oblivion remake has like a sheen to it, but we know that because it was engineered to have that because they're trying to keep the old game with like a new coat of paint. We know that was the goal. Mm-hmm. With Halo, I think I expected like a new shooter with the same story, and instead I have like the old game with a new with a sheen over it. I don't think it's using the same technology as the Oblivion with the two engines or whatever. I couldn't tell you that, but there's just that sheen over it, and I'm not there for that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I enjoy it. My PC can't really run it nicely, so I'll play the rest on Xbox. But yeah, man, I'm down to finish it.
I mean, it's a quick game. I think we're like 25% all the way through it already.
Yeah. All right, Tim, are you back to the regular streaming schedule?
Yes, sir. Back at it starting Monday. Twitch.tv/The Sidetrack, where got a couple of new things on the docket that I'm looking forward to. So we'll get to those. At least one this week. Maybe two. We'll see. But yeah, it's good times with good friends. And of course, speaking of multiplayer shenanigans, sometimes on twitch.tv/day1patchmedia on Wednesday nights.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, with some alright people.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd agree. Bad gamers.
Oh, man. Who's calling you out, Matt?
Oh, you can't just point it at me. Oh.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Yo, peace.